huge year for England starts here, and the curtain rises in a freezing Philadelphia against Brazil. Ellen White, she only needs one chance. What a goal! England 2, Brazil 1.
Steph Horton, oh, what an equaliser! What a goal, and England lead against the world champions. And it's in the equaliser now at the USA level. England can feel very proud.
Lovely pass by Taylor, and the shot creeps in. What a start for England. Turn by Taylor. Oh, and it's 2-0. Now here comes Beth Mead. Mead still going, and it's 3. England win the SheBelieves Cup.
So that is how the Lionesses fared last year, and now they aim to defend a trophy for the very first time. Tonight's opening game is an absolute cracker to a rerun of the Women's World Cup semi-final, and England are looking for revenge in Orlando. Well, joining me for tonight's game, Alex Scott, and we've added some extra firepower as well. Leanne Sanderson alongside us. Japan and Spain, the other two teams in the SheBelieves Cup this year. But given the recent history, to start with the USA, that's the big one. Is that the one you would want to start with?
Yeah, you know, I think obviously we know how fantastic the USA women's national team are, but I think England, you know, we've come a long way over the years, and I think we've got closer to them now. And now we've got Dawn Scott, you know, in amongst it as well. We've got Dawn Scott back, you know, she went to America for 10 years and now we've got her back. I think she can be a great addition to our team as well. But I'm hoping tonight, you know, we can almost get revenge on what happened to us at the World Cup, because I'm certainly looking forward to this one. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about Dawn Scott later on. Alex, who are you supporting tonight? With that jumper on?
I don't know.
No, neither do I.
Lion for the Lionesses, isn't it?
Look, since the World Cup, since that defeat to the USA, it's been a tough spell for the Lionesses. How much have they got to prove out in the States this time?
It's huge. The end of last year, their form, yes, we were talking about a hangover from the World Cup. Well, now there's no excuses, because you need to look forward. We've got home Euros coming up, and it's all building onto that. And you have to build the winning mentality, because that's what the Americans do. Failure isn't an option for them, and that's what we need to have in the England team.
Yeah, they have made a change of head coach, the US national team. It's not really affected much. No. They're as relentless and ruthless as ever.
They just don't stop. When you look at their last games, 7 wins in their last 7, 34 goals, and actually not even conceding goals. They've not conceded in their last 6 games. So, yes, they're in a transition, but that is scary, because they've taken it to the next level.
I mean, some people say that their second and third string team could also win a World Cup. That's how much strength and depth
they
that
said
they have.
that, didn't they, in France?
But, you know, they are a fantastic team, and they deserve all the accolades they get, but hopefully, you know, we can put them to bed tonight.
Yeah, well, it is a huge test for the Lionesses. We'll see how they line up in just a second. Let's start with the US women's team and get the starting 11, and it is, as you would expect, a very strong side. 8 of the 11 that started the World Cup semi-final against England start tonight. Julie Ertz makes her 100th US women's national team appearance. There's pace galore as well in the forward areas, in Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, with former Manchester City forward Carly Lloyd leading the line and captaining the side. Ballon d'Or winner Megan Rapinoe is on the bench. Well, to England now, and Phil Neville has gone for experience in goal. Carly Telford gets the start. Steph Horton missed a penalty against the USA in the semi-final, while Millie Bright was sent off late on. They again partner at the back. Leah Williamson's at right back in the absence of Lucy Bronze. There's a first start up front, or in the forward line as well, for Lauren Hemp, with Beth Mead also out through injury. Ellen White leads the line. In-form striker Beth England is on the bench. So let's hear from the England boss. Phil has been speaking to Katie Gornall.
Well, Phil, on paper this is a friendly, although I don't know how much a game between the USA and England could be described as that. How much is riding on this for you and your players?
Well, it's a tournament that we came to last year, and we went on with the trophy and we won it, and we got great confidence from that, taking it into a major tournament, and we want to do the same again. We've not come here to do anything other than to compete, to play well, to perform, and to try and win this trophy. And you know, it starts with probably the ultimate test, playing against the best team in the world.
You had some big decisions to make in your team selection, particularly at right back in the absence of Lucy Bronze. Leah Williamson's there, and there's no Beth England up front. Can you just talk us through your decisions there?
Well, Rachel Daly obviously is in the squad as a full-back, but she's not played. She's not played for 5 months. I think it would have been a real big ask for her to go out there tonight and play against the best team in the world in her first competitive game. Leah is someone that's, I think, earned the right to start in that position. She's multifunctional, she's versatile, and she will do a great job, I'm sure of that. And Beth England, I said yesterday in the press conference that she will get opportunities in this tournament, but ultimately the bar's been set really high by Ellen White over the last 12 months, and I think today there's a good blend of experience and youth within the team that will hopefully give us the best chance of winning.
You said you trusted your young players. Yeah. Lauren Hemp starts. How big an opportunity is this for her?
Oh, it's an amazing opportunity, and you know, I've seen over the last probably 3 to 6 months her confidence and belief and performance levels grow, and you know, there'll be some other youngsters on that bench that will get an opportunity tonight that we're all really excited to see. And you know, if you think about younger players in the team tonight, Georgia Stanway comes into that. She's only 21. Leah is only still very inexperienced, so we've got some good exciting young players on the pitch.
Yeah, exciting young players. What do you make of the lineup though, Alex?
I have to say, I'm disappointed that Beth England is not playing. I think the form that she has showed in the WSL has been exceptional, and I think she really deserved to start today, because you want to test her. Yes, WSL, but you want to test her against the best, which is America, and see if she can produce those levels. So yes, Ellen has done it for England, but in terms of form at the moment, Beth England is hands down in form, and yeah, I'm just disappointed. Hopefully she'll come off the bench and have a chance to show what she's been showing in the WSL, so we'll look for that.
Yeah, you heard Phil talk about Ellen White, the reasons for her starting. Could you play them together, or is it a case of one or the other?
I think you have to play them together. I think you have to play the most informed players, like Alex said, and for Beth England to be on the bench, you know, you want to play the players that are in form, you know, and I think they can definitely play together. Ellen White's had a fantastic year, you know, she did brilliantly at the World Cup, and I think she obviously deserves the right to play as well, but I definitely think that Beth England needs to be starting for England, you know, and like Alex said, test herself against the best team in the world, and I think whether she's on the bench or whether she comes on, I think she's going to be, I think she'll play a huge role tonight. I think she'll come on, hopefully, and she can bang in a couple of goals for us.
Let's look at your former position, Alex, right back. No Lucy Bronze. It's Leah Williamson who goes in there.
Yeah.
It's a big test for her tonight, and it's not a position that she plays week in, week out, is it?
Yeah, the thing that's really good about Leah is she is versatile. She can play in the holding midfield, centre-back, and she has played at full-back. It's going to be a big ask for her tonight because she's up against either Press or Tobin Heath, which is pace. But I think Leah just needs to show her composure. Don't worry. Don't try and be Lucy. Don't try and be that attacking full-back. She has to concentrate on her game, which at the moment, I think in this game, is your one-on-one defending.
And there's pace. Kristen Press and Tobin Heath will swap flanks. It doesn't matter which one she's up against. They have got pace to burn, both of them.
Yeah, they have. But I think the good thing about Leah's got a very good football brain. So hopefully, you know, it'll be interesting to see if she's going to get tight to Tobin or Kristen Press at the beginning of the game. And I think it's going to be a huge game for her, and hopefully she can do. I mean, we have the confidence in Leah. You know, Leah's a fantastic player, like Alex said, and she is very versatile. So I'm looking forward to that battle tonight.
What's the most frightening thing coming up against the USA? Is it the pace? Is it the power? Is it just the sheer number of goals that they possess within that team?
I think, you know, like Alex touched on it earlier, I've been in America now for 10 years, and it's their mentality. You know, it's that win at all costs. It's in their blood, and I think that's something that separates England from the USA. It's just the mentality, and everyone always says, what does that look like? But we've both played there, and we know what that feels like, and it's different. So hopefully England can kind of learn from that. And like I said, I keep mentioning Dawn Scott, but she's come back, and hopefully she can kind of install that in you, because you can't, you know, there's a born winner, and I think the Americans are born winners, and I think that's why they've got the better of us over the years.
Yeah, well, one player who will certainly be missed over in the US, on and off the pitch, is Lucy Bronze, out through injury, back in Lyon, working on trying to get to full fitness, but joining us on the screen, as if by magic. Lucy, how are you? How is the injury, and how's the rehab going?
Yeah, good. It was meant to be maybe 4 or 6 weeks, but I'm simply cutting it down at the minute, so it's going really well at the minute. Probably only going to be missing these England games, and I'll be back fit as soon as the girls are back.
Great stuff, and it is I think it's the first camp you've missed in about 5 years. How's the FOMO? Do you get FOMO?
The last camp I missed was 2015 for the Cyprus Cup, and the girls won that without me then as well, so probably win the SheBelieves without me. I think I must be the bad luck.
I think you did all right last year.
Luce, just looking ahead to this team, yeah, England are used to now getting to semi-finals, but we're looking to build for the home Euros. What does this team need to do to take it to the next level?
It's funny because I just listened to Leanne said it before. It's the mentality. I think we talk a lot about fitness with our team, but we actually have a lot of fit players. Like I like to think I'm quite fit, but we have fit players. We have players that can play a lot of games, but it's the mentality to be able to have a lot of players to switch in and out, because we've got the ability, we've got everything else, but it's can we have so many players with that mentality to switch in and out of the games on a regular basis.
Hi, Bronzy, you all right?
Right.
Yeah, I was wondering what your thoughts were. Do you think that England are going to kind of come out to try and win the game, or do you think they're going to sit off from the get-go?
I think we're going to try and win it. I think the way that the mentality has shifted in England in the past 10 years is that we want to win every game. And I think, you talk about USA having that target on the back where every team wants to beat them. I think we've kind of put that target on our back as well a little bit, which is maybe why we struggled after the World Cup, is every team wants to beat us as well, and we want to win every single game. And I don't think playing against the USA, obviously there's some bad memories from the World Cup, and a lot of the girls who played in that game is going to want to set a few things right from that.
It's a different squad that Phil's named this time, Lucy, a different balance between some of the young players coming in. How excited are you to watch players that will be coming in? Lauren Hemp making her first start tonight, some of the new generation coming through.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I mean, really, we don't have a tournament for England this year. There's the Olympics, but it's probably going to be a different kind of squad and a different kind of dynamic to it. So he's planning for the Euros predominantly, so it's a perfect opportunity now to get those young players like him time, minutes on the pitch playing against the world's best. You're not going to get much better experience than that. And, you've got Stanway, Walsh, Williamson, a lot of young players who, if we have this experiences now, going into the Euros, it's going to be a piece of cake. They're not going to be nervous. It's a home Euros, which is going to be a big thing. And they'll be settled in the team. They'll know how to win. They'll know how to play against the best teams. And they'll know how to perform on the big stage. And that's what we need now. That is that shift in mentality.
Yeah. Luce, you are very much the leader, and the players respect you and they follow you and look up to you. So in that changing room, what would you be saying to those players?
Not be scared. I think that's always the thing when people play against USA. It's the USA have got this kind of, they look at you and they just put their shoulders back, and it's not arrogance, but they're very, very confident, and people can be intimidated by it and scared by it. I think, go toe-to-toe with them, realise that you're just as good as them, can be better than them, you just got to show it. And I think we need to get over that hurdle of being scared of another team. I'm personally not scared of them, so I don't think the other girls can be.
Are you more scared sitting at home watching it on the telly than perhaps being in that dressing room right now?
I hate it. I hate it. I can't. I'm a really bad bench player or even a supporter. I get so nervous. But when I'm playing, I have no care in the world when I'm playing any game. But I'm a bit nervous to watch. But I know they'll do well. But I'm just nervous.
Have you been on the phone to them 24/7?
Yeah, I was speaking to Jordan before. Literally a couple of hours ago, talking about the game. Been speaking to some of the other girls. Spoke to Leah yesterday about playing right back and stuff like that. So it's good to be able to speak to them. But I mean, I'm excited for them as well.
Did you tell her to run forward and score a goal?
Yeah, I was like, just be like me, just run. Well, the opposite of what you just said.
I hope it's not too nerve-wracking for you sitting back in Lyon, Lucy. All the best with the rehab.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
See you, Lucy.
Bye. Right. Well, England about to get their defence underway, but the tournament has actually started already. The other two teams, Spain and Japan, met a little bit earlier on today. And Spain took the lead very early on, but Japan drew level. A minute before half-time, Iwabuchi with a brilliantly improvised lobbed finish. That was right on the stroke of half-time, but it took just 3 minutes of the second half for Spain to retake the lead. Japan, architects of their own downfall, allowing half-time substitute Lucia Garcia to steal the ball and score from an acute angle. And then Garcia capitalised on more poor defending to score her second goal, displaying pace, power and a little bit of composure as well to seal a 3-1 victory for the Spaniards. Alex, are you surprised by that result?
Both teams are really good. Japan, I would be expecting more from, because obviously building for their home Olympics, so I thought at this stage they would have progressed from the World Cup. But Spain have always been a good team. Leanne's played over there. When we've played against them for England, they've always shown that ability, but it was just they're lacking in finishing. So if that's the final piece of the puzzle, they're always a hard team to play against.
They're really laid back as well from playing there. I played there 7 years ago, and I think, you know, they're professional. You know, you've got Atletico Madrid, you've got Real Madrid in there now, you've got Barcelona, and I think you can see them progressing, because you cannot be training 3 times a week and competing with the best teams in the world. It's impossible. So now that they're able to do that, I think their team has definitely got better. But I agree, I think we have these high expectations of Japan as well, because they're known historically, they won the World Cup before, you know, and everybody loves playing against them. They're such a nice team. And I think we have those expectations of Japan to just be doing a little bit better than they are.
Yeah, they have a home Olympic Games to look forward to as well. But let's have a quick chat on Dawn Scott, because you have mentioned her already, Leanne, sports scientist who was described by the women's national team in the US as the secret behind everything.
Yes.
She's come back to England.
They loved
to the
her.
Lioness.
They loved her.
What does she bring, though?
I think, you know, Dawn's an absolute genius when it comes to the science behind it, and I think Dawn's always been ahead of the game when it comes to stuff. You know, I played with Dawn since I was, you know, 14 years old, and she was always way ahead of the game, and USA grabbed her, I think, at the worst time for us. But, you know, I'm happy that she's back, and I think she can help escalate us to that next level with the sports science that she has behind her, and she just knows things before everybody else.
Yeah, Dawn, her thing was always 1% gains. If everyone has 1% gains, then that is huge for the team and can push on to the next level. But she will take this England team and their fitness up a notch, because I think that's what was lacking in the World Cup. When we talk about America and our England team, we need to be more physical, fitter than they are, and I think Dawn is the perfect person to do that.
And the small details that she has, you know, the small details that she does, I think they make a huge difference.
Yeah, indeed. Well, this is her first game since joining, and it's up against the team she came from, the USA. It will be a huge test for England's Lionesses as the teams make their way out onto the pitch. Let's join your commentary team for this one tonight. Sue Smith is alongside Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much, Ellie. A very good morning to you in the UK. Thanks for staying up so late. 262 days ago, the USA were crowned world champions. In 488 days, England will kick off Euro 2021 as hosts. The SheBelieves Cup, growing annually more important in the global calendar, marks this year a crossroads for both countries, because the Americans want a clean sweep, World Cup, SheBelieves, and then Olympic gold in Japan in August, and they plan to use this tournament to gauge whether some of their brilliant but ageing stars can complete that treble. England coach Phil Neville sees this as a fresh start, he told me, in his long-term planning for the Euros, after the ultimate heartache in France and then the dismal disappointments of those autumn friendlies. He will introduce more young players over the 3 games. He's told me he wants them to play with no fear, but of course this is a mighty test. The USA wanted the stiffest one first. In this a repeat of the World Cup semi-final from Lyon, when England worked them far harder, by the way, than the Netherlands in the final. They're looking for the 300th home win in their history. They're unbeaten in 45 on US soil, 28 matches anywhere. It's 3 years since a European side beat them. They seem to get better year on year.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go for the anthems.
Rise and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem of England.
Pressed to repeat last year's 2-all draw here against the
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join American Outlaws in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
An enthusiastic rendition of the US national anthem at the Exploria Stadium. One game played here by the US in the past, a 1-0 win here against England in the SheBelieves Cup of 2018. I thought Carly Lloyd looked rather emotional there as the anthem was played. Will this be her last year in the side, I wonder? Will she go out after the Olympics? And the players not shaking hands in the current climate. Fear of the virus spreading. That's the guideline for this tournament. Strong US team, we know that. 8 of them started the World Cup final. And there is Carly Lloyd. Manchester City fans will remember her. Steph Houghton, former teammate there, and of course the England captain in the middle of the Lionesses huddle. Surprised that's a strong US lineup, Sue?
Not really, no. I thought that they would have that sort of lineup. You know, they want to get the title back off England. England got it last year off them, and they're desperate to get that back, as England are desperate for payback for that semi-final.
And England need the experience of Ellen White. They've talked about it in the studio, preferred tonight, but they need experience out there as the two captains meet with the referee from Jamaica, Odette Hamilton.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Beth England obviously pushing for a start with her excellent form in the WSL, but Ellen was outstanding in the World Cup and so clinical in front of goal. I'm sure Beth will get the opportunity, but in my opinion, I think that was the right decision for this game.
The 2 assistants and the 4th official from Canada, by the way. The experience in these SheBelieves games. The US so very, very strong, but Phil Neville sees this as the perfect time to spring into a new year. New hope and a new team emerging. He really is planning long-term for England. Defence and the midfield much the same for the US that started the World Cup final. Lindsay Horan, in brilliant form of late, replaces Sam Ewis from that side, and Carly Lloyd and Christian Press came on against the Dutch and start tonight. World Footballer of the Year, Megan Rapinoe, as we've seen, a sporadic starter since the World Cup, really, only fit enough for the bench. No Alex Morgan, of course, she's out of the tournament. Last month they romped the Olympic qualifying competition, 5 wins from 5, 25 goals scored, none conceded. Christian Press scored 5 of those to win the player of the tournament, and Lindsay Horan, she scored 6 in that tournament as well. Lloyd took her US goal tally to 122. The drama and the theatrics of pre-kick-off. Only Carly Lloyd, by the way, didn't start the semi-final win over Phil Neville's England. 4 of the Lionesses missing from that night. Barty Bronze-Mead all injured, as we've heard. Rachel Daly only on the bench. She's had no game time over the last 5 months. Minnie Bright sent off in that game. Steph Houghton infamously had a penalty saved. Ellen White scored and had 1 disallowed, but she really rampaged against Alcambra and Sauber, and she's the top scorer in the history of the SheBelieves Cup. She scored 6 in the World Cup finals. All that gets her the nod. As we've heard, Hemp plays her first game in England's starting lineup. It's the USA who start us off, all in blue, kicking from left to right, and immediately they look for the hugely dangerous Crystal Dunn, who was in the team of the tournament in the World Cup finals in France. In fact, virtually half of that best 11 playing tonight. England represented by Ellen White and Jill Scott. That's run out of play by Lauren Hemp off a deflection. She claims the throw and it goes England's way, and Alex Greenwood will take it. You're looking also an important night for Georgia Stanway, so it's her first start since September. Injuries really have prevented Phil from naming his strongest side since France 19, but he is looking to blood new players, and you can expect the young Everton forward Chloe Kelly to make her debut from the bench as well.
Yeah, well, I think he spoke about it, didn't he, beforehand, that he's got a really nice blend of youth and experience, and I think it's important in tournaments like this to give players game time moving forward, looking at the Olympics, looking at the Euros, and yeah, I'm really excited to see them and see them compete against some of the best teams in the world, or the best team in the world, which is the US.
And am I wrong in saying they seem to get better and better and physically stronger and stronger?
No, you're not at all. They certainly do. And I think that was one of the reasons that Phil Neville was desperate to get Dawn Scott back, because I think that was the difference in the semi-final, the physicality of the US to England. I think technically and tactically we're right up there, but physically we just weren't the same.
Sue Smith agreeing with me. Blink and you'd have missed it. And here's Dahlkemper and Sauerbrunn, very much the authoritative back two. It's Sauerbrunn's 10th start, or 11th start now, in a run of 13. Dahlkemper's missed just 2 this season. There's Greenwood. 4th start this year, did play in the victory against the Czechs. Their side of the pitch now being attacked. Kira Walsh comes across against the run of Tobin Heath. Did well enough there, Kira Walsh. Started all 6 games for England. Part of the future, definitely. Answered awkwardly there. Over the head of young Stanway.
That's exactly what the US will do to you, though. They press you so quickly, and in numbers. It's not individually, it's they go collectively, try and win the ball back as high up the field as they possibly can.
It's Phil Neville. We just got a little shot there as well of Vlatko Andonovski, the new coach of the US team, took over from Jill Ellis. It's Tobin Heath with this free kick then. Not sure why that was given, to be honest, Sue.
I'm not.
Passed me by that one. Terrific form, Tobin Heath again this year after a bit of a muscle injury. Here comes that free kick. And been undone by set pieces in this competition last year by the US. Flashing crossing to the arms of Carly Telford. Chosen again ahead of Ellie Roebuck, who hasn't actually been able to train fully this week. Carly Telford plays her 4th game of this season and 25th for her country. 4th SheBelieves tournament. The Americans haven't missed a tournament. This is the 5th year of it. Carly Lloyd's played in every game and has been in this competition, which gets better and better every year. More and more goals are scored in it. There's Julie Ertz. Lloyd on the edge of the penalty and looking to poach. Got there, but put it wide.
Great play from the US there, so direct. When they get the ball, the first thought is forward. Lovely ball through, and straight away, quick turn, and this is clever from Carly Lloyd. Just gets the touch. I think Carly Telford does enough. She comes out quickly off the line, which we know she's great at, just narrows that angle down, and Carly Lloyd can't quite lift it over the top of her.
122 goals for her country. She gets better and better, you know, Carly Lloyd. She scored 36 goals up to the age of 30. She's hit 86 in her 30s. Heading to another Olympics. Gets stronger and stronger. It's tucked away there by Becky Sauerbrunn, the Utah Royals player. It's her 3rd World Cup in the summer. An Arsenal fan, actually, Becky Sauerbrunn. Oh, that was Jill Scott pulled down there. And the corner kick is given anyway for England, and Jill Scott saying to the referee, look, my shirt was being tugged. That was my first thought.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was exactly what Jill was saying, that you could see her shirt was being pulled. And then she just appealed for the corner. She said she'd take that.
Alex Greenwood will take it, so it'll be a left foot in swinger. And the player who plays at Lyon in France. And it swings now. Steph Horton rose and got above the defenders. That was almost like a free header, or rather it was Millie Bright glanced it wide. Opportunity there for England.
It was a great delivery, and we know how good Millie Bright is in the air, as is Steph Houghton, and she just pulled off the back post, got up well, but just couldn't quite direct her header.
Absolutely broken-hearted when she was sent off in that World Cup semi-final against the US in the summer. She also scored an own goal against Germany here the other year in the SheBelieves, but greatly improved as an England defender. A European 2017 final performances were terrific. I think she and England might have peaked a little bit early last year, and she struggled a wee bit in the World Cup, do you think, Millie?
Yeah, maybe. I think that, yeah, that was certainly that England did peak, and, you know, I know that's what Phil Neville wants to do this time. He wants to make sure he peaks at the right time, so at the major tournaments, this is great, you want to win this and you want to gain that momentum, but it is about the Euros and the Olympics.
Well, girls in the studio were talking about playing players when they're in form, and Millie Bright certainly having a terrific season with Chelsea. An opportunity here for Lauren Hemp to get the cross into the box, looking for Ellen White. The US steer it away. And Lloyd will turn here and go for goal and play it out to Tobin Heath. Great pace in the flank positions for the US. Steered out by Steph Houghton. Wasn't a good ball in by Tobin Heath. That muscle injury just impaired her performances in the Olympic qualifying. Only played less than 2 hours there, but her form was strong, Tobin Heath.
That's exactly what Carly Lloyd will do, though. She'll drop deep like that, pick the ball up, and she's obviously got the pace either side of her.
People often ask me, what's the most dynamic performance you've seen by a footballer over the 40 years I've been doing it? And I'd have to go back. One of the most dynamic performances was Carly Lloyd, first 16 minutes of the 2015 final. We were in Vancouver, and in 16 minutes she had a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Sensational, wasn't it?
Absolutely unbelievable performance.
England have to defend another set piece. Against Spain are already off to a roaring start, beating Japan 3-1 in this stadium earlier on. I thought the free kick, and it's a wicked one. Curling viciously, the captain was there. And it's gone. And already not on the defensive, because I don't think they come into this game to defend and hold on and maybe catch them on the break. I don't think you can play the USA that way. They're on the back foot. Here comes a Heath corner, and Heath had to get there, make the sound save, which she did. The last couple of games in the World Cup finals, which should have done her the world of good. The most experienced England goalkeeper, Karen Barty's on her way back, isn't she?
She is, which is great to see. You know, she obviously got injured in the World Cup, and she's been struggling ever since to get back fitness-wise.
It's a lovely ball here to Lauren Hemp. You know, she's got pace. You know, she's having a very good season at Manchester City. She's done brilliantly there. And Ellen White was attacking it. The goalkeeper has to come and gather. It's Naya.
Brilliant from Hemp, JP. You know, it's exactly what you want from your wide player. She's so confident, nothing seems to faze her, gets 1v1 with her defender, just wants to beat the defender, and she's got 2 deliveries into the box, decent as well. You know, no floated deliveries, you want to drive the ball across, and she's done that twice, just not managed to get on the end of it.
10 minutes gone. This is dangerous. Crystal Dunn was a forward. Moving back to the left-back position with such success. She's gone easily beyond Williamson. Away by Bright. Tobin Heath underneath it. Seem to have players in space and players comfortable in running with the ball, like Kristen Press there, who's forced another corner kick. She's in unbelievable form. She's scored 6 in her last 7, 13 in 18. She scored in 6 games in a row. The first US player to do that since Carly Lloyd managed it in 2014, and she won the Golden Ball as the best player as they romped that Olympics qualifying campaign in the early weeks of this year. Danger here. For England, it came up, wasn't it handball by Christian Press? They decided against it, and that was a foul throw, surely to goodness. That's a foul throw by Kelly O'Hara. And the US now get a free kick for a foul on the World Cup winning right back. No wonder he's disgruntled. I think that was a foul, but there should have been a foul throw awarded, shouldn't there, sir?
Yeah, 100%.
Sooner or later, they'll score from a set piece. They always seem to. Scored in their last 57 internationals. It's a variation on a theme. Low and bobbling and dangerous and looking for Ertz. This is O'Hara with the cross into the box. A big expansive effort by Haran. Now Rose Lavelle. Put away by Horton. All the pressure on England. O'Hara trying to protect the ball. That's another throw-in decision. Dalkampa. Back to O'Hara. Slipped forward by Julie Ertz and cleared away. Now Rose Lavelle. She'll shoot from there. And it's a good effort. And it's a fine save by Telford. Brilliant start by the US here. Power and pace and ambition and drive. This is Heath. Steered wide by Kristen Precious, she came in, but the run was a dangerous one by Heath.
England just can't get out. This is great effort from Rose Lavelle, and that's exactly what we know Carly Telford can do. Great shot stopper. But England just need to calm down when they get the ball. It's very rushed, and that is down to the US and the way that they press you, and when they get the ball, they go forward so quickly with so much pace. Just need to relax a little bit on the ball.
You can't let Lavelle come in and have a shot like that. She was in the best 11 in the World Cup. She scored a brilliant goal in the final. She ran 10 miles in the game against England. Stabbed out by Steph Horton. Play with no fear again was the message from the England manager. It's just been a nervy start by one or two of them. Williamson misjudging that, but she gets to it now. I can tell you that Phil Neville is a big fan of the Arsenal defender. He can play anywhere, and such a technically gifted player. She wasn't there particularly, but I know he rates her very highly.
Yeah, and rightly so. She's a fantastic player. I think the girls said it in the studio, she reads the game so well. Play at centre-half, play in that holding midfield role, can also play at full-back, but when she gets the ball, often makes the right decision with her pass.
And what can you say about the Under-20 World Cup winning captain of 2012 in a 100th senior cap now, Julie Ertz?
What a player she is, and how good was she in the World Cup. She's just like their quarterback, isn't she? Her range of passing sets up the attacks, but she's also their body on the line, protecting the defence like she did there.
She was centre-half in World Cup 2015. They switched her in 2017 to the centre of midfield, and she immediately became the US Player of the Year. Steph Horton could have now gone. Oh, we're mentioning Steph. Please support Karen Carney and Stephen Warnock, who are running the London Marathon this year to raise money for Steph's husband, Stephen Darby, who we know is suffering from illness. The Darby Rimmer Foundation, Darby Rimmer MND Foundation, and I gather they'll have a page soon up on the website for you to support them running that. It's a great thing they're doing, and as always we wish Stephen well. We're now played, as I say, in England. I think will be relieved it's 0-0 soon.
I think so. What they've done well, though, is they have defended the set pieces well, which I know is something that they've been working on.
It's a bit nervy. Once or twice they've tried to play out very, very deep, and it's looked shaky. Nikita Paris, first time we've seen her in action. I can tell you the US are very wary of Jill Scott. They are very wary of Ellen White. Another reason why I think Phil Neville picked her for this one. Bethany England will get her chance. That's very clear from what he said yesterday. There's Kylie Lloyd. Turan. Dunn arriving. Turned and twisted like a winger in there, and Nikita Paris will bring it away. Might have been fouled by Haran. I feel fairly uncomfortable with England playing out from the back like this. Sue, what about you?
I just think because they are pressing so high up the field, sometimes you just need to relieve the pressure a little bit.
It's Greenwood nearly caught there by Heath, and she has the ball now. Horton has to step out, slithering in. Of course, Julie Ertz, who stayed, rather it's Haran who stayed down. Heath has gone to the referee, suggesting there was some sort of stamping motion in the challenge. A 50-50 ball.
Yes, Steph Horton had to go for it. Wins the ball well. Don't think there's anything in that. It was a flick of the foot, but she was just trying to flick the ball away.
He's only got caught in there. Since the World Cup of 2019, they've played 12 games, the USA, won 11, drawn 1, scored 47, conceded 3, but they haven't conceded a goal now in 569 minutes of football since Anna Angevart of Sweden scored against them back in November.
I think sometimes when you say a new manager comes in, they're going through a transitional period and teams might get an opportunity, but just seem to be getting better and better, don't they?
Haven't lost against the European side since France beat them in this tournament in 2017. They've been there for years at the top of women's football, the women's football tree. England's progress has been startling, but really only started with the 2015 World Cup. Other nations, Norway so strong for so many years, Germany of course, France. Huge bench. You can leave Megan Rapinoe there on the substitute bench, World Footballer of the Year. Was that another major reason why they beat us in the semi-final, beat England in the semi-final, I should say, because they had greater strength and depth than we did?
They had a huge strength and depth and the ability to rotate when they needed to rotate in games, and of course, but I still think it was just that physicality. I just think it was the fitness levels. I think there's a lot of England players that are right up there, but I think it's getting everybody to that level. That's what Dawn should provide.
Walsh, lovely ball, Nikita Paris creeping around the back. Straight at the goalkeeper with the header as the USA looked for a flag that eventually came.
This was a fantastic bit of play. What a ball that is to actually spot Nikita Paris's run, then a fantastic first touch. Just managed to get the header away, but straight at the goalkeeper, and it was offside, wasn't it?
She hasn't scored since the opening game of this season against Belgium away. She did have a goal disallowed against Germany.
That's got to be the in-ball for England, though. Out wide, because their fullbacks like to get forward at every opportunity. It's a lot of work for our wide players, have to get back and defend, but if they can get in round the back.
Hunt was second to the ball there with Ertz noticeably. And the US press here now with Tobin Heath. Fed by Lavelle. Lloyd's in the middle. Heath looks for on the spin. And it was blocked by Millie Bright, who did brilliantly for England. And then by Jill Scott. Good awareness by Millie Bright in there. so strong for Chelsea this season, as I was saying. Much involved in the title race, of course, a point behind Manchester City. Both of them still in the Women's FA Cup as well. Chelsea go to Everton and Manchester City go to Leicester. That is Greenwood. Confirmed the starting lineup again to Demi Stokes. Had that long period in the USA. England have got to win those 50-50s, no doubt about it. Right, again, well positioned for England. Here's Julie Ertz. Lindsay Horan. Crystal Dunn with the ball forward. And that goalkeeping. If you're wondering why the pronunciation of Horan might have changed, he was used to call her Lindsay Horan, and then our very good friend Hope Solo put us right in the summer in France. There's a chance for her from the mistake by England, and Telford rescues her country. And England eventually stab it away with Greenwood, and the referee's blown. Big chance there for the USA. Good goalkeeping. She started so well, Carly Telford.
Started excellent. Lovely ball through here, and I thought Steph Houghton had just done enough to just clear it over to Leah Williamson. But it was Carly Telford alert again. So athletic.
Why is the whistle blown?
I thought you were going to tell me.
I don't know what she did wrong there, the US player. I didn't think when she challenged Carly Telford, the ball was on the ground and not firmly in her grasp. I didn't think that was a free kick.
I'll take it.
I look to you for explanation on these things. I don't quite know why, but there you are. We've travelled a fair few miles together. It doesn't get better, Sue, really, does it? Here's Heath. Donna Kemper. Becky Sauerbrunn. Two centre-backs were outstanding in the World Cup finals. 7 rows there. Nikita Paris was fouled. She got the wrong side of the US defence from their point of view, and from England's point of view, that's a good sign.
She looks sharp, Nikita Paris.
She's got 11 goals for Lyon this season. That's no mean feat. The fact that she's played so many games for a very, very good team.
She adapted to life there really quickly.
England free kick, it's all the way to the far post. Just stabbed out in the end by O'Hara, I think it was. Good ball in by Alex Greenwood. She has that in her locker, that's for sure.
It's a great ball just in behind the defence, and it's just that little touch. Well, Millie Bright was in at the far post.
Chance here for England, 25 minutes gone. Coming towards the near post. Oh, it's a good header on as well. And Jill Scott forces it up onto the top of the bar, of the net, I should say. Lovely curling, whipped corner. Hemp was at the near post for the touch.
Oh,
that's so close.
So unlucky. Just a real well-worked corner. You know, near post corner, whipped in with pace. Hemp does well to get the flick on. And all Jill Scott just needed was just the touch towards goal, but couldn't quite get the right touch on it.
Here's Heath. In his throat. touch on there again by Lauren Hemp. Remember she came on that game against Germany at Wembley. She ended so flat for England in front of a very big crowd. She sparkling cameo that day. Just settling, Sue, aren't they now?
This is what the US do. You know, first 10, 15 minutes, really press high with a real intensity, try and get that early goal. And the fact that England have managed to keep it 0-0, now they're building their way back into the game. And the two centre-halves have done really well. Millie Bright and Steph Houghton just to keep that pressure on.
It's a bad mistake by Sabra, and Ellen White goes for goal. Well, she's sharp, and she's looking to add to those 35 goals she scored for England.
Poor mistake there, but again, well read by Ellen White. She's only got one thing in her mind, that's to have a go at goal, but easy for the goalkeeper straight at her.
Scored 5 in a row in World Cup finals and 5 games in a row. No other English player, men's game or women's game, has ever managed that. Now England's top scorer at World Cup finals in the women's game, of course. This is a player who's had 3 ACL injuries. She even had a spinal injury last year, I think it was. She ended up being a stress fracture, I believe. This is a lovely turn by Rose Lavelle, one of the best young players in the world. And it's a ball that finds Carly Lloyd in a good position in the end. She just couldn't react quickly enough to get the shot away. Now, who am I to criticise a player who has 122 goals for a country? But I think that Carly Lloyd 2 years ago would have scored there.
Just a lovely bit of play from Rose Lavelle. That's exactly what she can do. So agile, change of pace, and then finding the pass at the end of it. Oh.
That's a bad mistake by England again, rescued away by Houghton. Hemp. After the opening 10 minutes, you'd have thought the USA would storm into an early lead, and it hasn't happened, and that's all credit to England.
They've just had to stay in the game, and they've done that.
Here's Nikita Paris. And Scott. And we get Japan, England. It's coming your way on Sunday, 5:50. That's on BBC 2. And England against Spain Wednesday on BBC 4, 9 p.m. But you can see all the other games in the competition on the BBC iPlayer, on the red button as well. So look out for all of those games. Earlier on we had that's Spain 3, Japan 1 scoreline for you. Good game it was as well. Putellas put Spain ahead, and then Iwabuchi, good player ever for Japan, and Alicia Garcia came on at half-time for Spain, scored 2 goals. They look very strong. And they've been improving for the last 2 or 3 years. Now that's a nice little collision. And Ben O'Hara is okay, she's okay. On we go. How good is Rose Lavelle?
She's superb, isn't she? I think every time she gets the ball, you think that something's going to happen.
Lloyd with the ball through. Now played. We had lunch with Carly Lloyd in Lyon, didn't we, in the summer? Well, when I say that, Sue, she had lunch with Hope Solo. We sat sort of nearish, creeping ever closer, trying to be part of the gang.
I was going to say that. We were on a table quite a way away.
Every time he sort of tried to get nearer, so Hope and Carly tried to...
Security
Blue lights started coming down the road. I noticed you ran quickly when you saw those. Anyway, a different story. But here we go. When you look back at some of the shaky performances in this 2019-2020 season for England. Belgium, good team, 3-3 away. Okay, that's all right, but they were poor for long periods against Brazil at home. And they were disappointing at home in that big game against Germany. They just squeezed the win at Czech Republic, away at Portugal as well. Players deflated after a World Cup. Early in the domestic season as well, but this is a really marked improvement for England. But here come the USA again. And Lavelle. O'Hara. And Heath. John Greenwood gets the cross in. Chance, good save again. Creating openings. Once again, Carly Lloyd very much in the thick of it.
She's just so good at this, just finds space in the box sometimes where there isn't any, then just gets her head up, doesn't move. You know, she just strolls into the box. England have to be better at picking her up. You know, they expect that explosive run, but why move? I've got space. Again, a decent save by Carly Telford.
She was a top scorer in 2019, Carly Lloyd. She scored 16 goals. She scored 19 in her last 21. Needs 8 goals more to join Christine Lilly on 130 as their 8th highest scorer. Becky Sauerbrunn. They've got, I think it's 8 players in the squad over 100 caps, but then the USA play a lot more internationals than the European countries. Because they go through Olympic qualification every 4 years. Walsh. Really bright again. Good game. Still, we're not seeing a great deal of her. She's up against one of the best in the world, as we've been saying.
Do you know what? I've been really impressed with her and Ellen White, the way that they're working off the ball. They're making sure that Ertz doesn't get on the ball, but they're doing that together. So one will press high and the other one will just drop in, because clearly they've looked at Ertz and said she's the one that's going to get on the ball and make things happen from deep. So the off-the-ball work and the understanding with each other has been excellent, but we just haven't seen enough of them on the ball.
A few weeks coming up for Alex Greenwood at Tilly on their top of the table. 3 points clear of PSG with 9 to go. They're in the Champions League quarter-final. Who do they play, Leon? Do they play Bayern? I think it is. It's the new coach. He played for a fair few teams in the USA, Wichita and Kansas City. California Cougars, he was a defender here. Becky Sauerbrunn. Lots of Peaky Blinders, does Becky Sauerbrunn, I'm told. Here's Abidal Kemper. O'Hara joining in. Boy, that's what she can do majestically. There's a majesty about that play. Horton and White again combining. Chipping England throw. A couple of games this season at Rose Lavelle. Made a debut against England in this competition. She was brilliant. She was man of the match in that game as well. She's just a terrific young player, and here come the USA again. Just going in support. Christian Press laid it off to Haran. Now done. Was she clipped there? Yes, she was. Julie Ertz. To Lavelle. Heath. Better shape about that England defence now. O'Hara lofted too high for Lloyd, and out comes a confident Carly Telford. The worry about can't tell for Misu, she doesn't get enough games for a club. She's played just 8 this season.
I suppose that's because she's competing with Berger, who's been absolutely brilliant in the big games. But all you can say is from a performance tonight, I think she's been excellent. You know, when she's had to come for things, she's come out, she's closed players down, made the the angle narrow, easy for me to say. And then you could hear the communication.
What?
Much better than mine.
Sabra, such a woman in the World Cup, her getting a jittery spell when Ellen White put her under pressure. This is her 175th international. And the second player for those number of caps to still be active. Oh, it's the other one. Walsh. Good ball that. Looking for Hem. Took it neatly enough as well. Julie Ertz there with her. That's a good old contest, that. A bit of space here for Walsh. Scott, having pushed up so high, has dragged Ertz out of the picture. That gives a little bit more room for Kira Walsh.
She's the one who can switch the play as well.
She's produced a decent ball there, looking for Stammen, couldn't quite get that. Seven minutes to go. Just impressed for the USA. Miss Heath, Greenwood stood off for a little bit. She backed back into the penalty area. Heath went at her, claims the penalty. Don't think it was. But it's a danger when you back inside your own penalty area with a player running at you like Tobin Heath.
She just ran into her. Don't think that was a penalty.
I think she was looking for it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Thought it was actually good defending from Alex Greenwood. It's difficult when you're playing against a player like Tobin Heath that can go either way. She was trying not to get done on the outside, but then did want her to come inside. I just think it was a poor touch and ended up going straight into her.
The US Soccer Federation described her not so long ago as the most skillful player in the squad, which is a lovely compliment to a player from your Soccer Federation, but I wonder what the other 22 felt. Here come England. This is promising. This is Stanway out to Nikita Paris to take on Dunn. Inside, here's Jill Scott with a lovely bending effort. That's 4 saves Layers had to make.
Straight at her. Again, but that's where you want Georgia Stanway, just in those little pockets of space. I think she could have turned and had a go there. You know, it was a great first touch, but then she was looking for Nikita Paris out wide.
Ellen White. Come back out to her. And there, clears it away. That penalty save against Stefan Whitman in the semi-finals was the first penalty save in regulation time made by a US goalkeeper in any World Cup finals.
Great start.
I was reading that the other day because I'm a particularly boring type of a chap. Here's the Christian press. Haran. It's a corner ball. Steady enough defending there by Leah Williamson. She had to be patient in the World Cup, didn't she? The Arsenal defender only came on for 6 minutes against Cameroon in that horrible game. To go, I think, with a little bit of stoppage time that we'll get. Duran is in there. They are so deadly at set pieces, making a run in. Steph Morton kept the ground and got it away. Scored 21 set piece goals in 2019. Nearly 30% of all of their goals. They hit 9 at the World Cup finals. Getting up from the back that deep is intended to bypass a high press, but very rarely it does. On occasion England did it very well. Here's Williamson looking for Jill Scott.
That was really well done by England. I think because Carly Telford's so good with her feet.
Really bright. Well, it's gone against Ornham for turning the defender, Kelly O'Hara, on the ground.
Because it's US.
Good balance on the right back. A good surfer, I'm told. Sabra, St. Louis, Missouri. Raised in California, they're not born there. Iran. Test joining in. Flying down the right-hand side, but seen from a long way out by Williamson, and again England have done that well enough.
I think this was the potential penalty. I still don't think there's anything in that.
Ran at Alex Greenwood and threw herself to the ground. But younger of the two centre-backs by 8 years. So top ball in there by Laval.
Both sides at times have just lacked that final ball, haven't they? They've got themselves into decent positions. Haven't quite found the pass that was intended.
5 defeats in the last 8 games for England, and a couple of wins in that time. A rude awakening. I think that World Cup physically and mentally took so much out of them. This is when it will start getting serious. Less than 500 days to go to the Euro finals. Less than a minute to go here before the half-time whistle could blow, and here's Heath. I think it might have been going wide anyway. Carly Telford made sure there were possibly better options to Toby Heath's left-hand side there.
Yeah, I think she took the wrong option. Good running into the channels initially, and again, that's the first thing on her mind. I'm going to drive at the player. Could she have pulled it back? I think it's Rose Lavelle coming in. She had an option there, and she also had the option far post.
Crystal Dunn was coming up as well, wasn't she, strongly? Comes the corner kick. And tussling forward in the end, conceding the foul. He's bumping into 19-year-old Lauren Hemp. Down with the England under-20 squad that finished 3rd in the Junior World Cup of 2018. Manchester City's Lauren Hemp used to be at Bristol City.
I've been impressed by how England have defended set pieces, though. I know that's something that we've said on numerous occasions, haven't we, when we've been doing commentary, that they need to be better at times with crosses into the box or set pieces, but I thought they've done that well this first half.
That SheBelieves Cup spinning logo looks like a road sign from the old East End of London. Imagine Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins with that wonderful Cockney accent singing along. Half-time, 0-0. And I'll tell you what, that's not a bad result for England, because the US started so strongly. Ollie Lloyd with a couple of efforts, but his team have gone close as well. White and Hemp, White again and Scott. It's been a promising first half this for England, given their autumn despair. And at half-time in Florida, it's the USA 0, England 0.
So it is goalless at half-time. So far, so good for England, Alex?
Yeah, I'll start with a positive that we've managed to get to half-time and it's 0-0 against the world champions.
I wanted you to get in on a positive. I know you like to be positive.
Yes, I do.
But I'm assuming there's a little bit of a but.
Well, I was sitting here and I was saying to you, please get through 15 minutes without the USA conceding, which is a good thing because we know USA like to score goals early, so they've done well there. But me and Leanne have been discussing that it doesn't look like USA are in the off-season. You would think that it's England that have not been playing football. And, yeah, OK, they haven't been together as a team for 3 months, and I think that's kind of showing the connection isn't there, and it's just a bit scrappy. But like I said, we've got to half-time at 0-0.
Yeah, the quality just from both teams, for me, hasn't really meshed tonight for whatever reason. You know, I think we've done a few things in the game that they wouldn't usually do, and I think sometimes when we play against America, players tend to be a bit fearful of them. And you can see that, you know, the back line are receiving it way far this way when they would usually receive it higher up. And, you know, I just think we look scared of them. But the quality from both teams, I think, hasn't been good enough. And like Alex said, you know, we look like we've not been in season and USA have not been in season.
Well, the USA have probably had the bulk of the chances. They have had a fair few chances. Always knew they would, but how much are England inviting these chances on?
Yeah, you know, like I said, we're playing out from the back, which is obviously the way of football nowadays. But I just think you have to, you know, play the game that's ahead of you. And
These
I
are
think
actually the
it's
England
causing us a
chances
problem.
here. So let's start with England chances. And that was playing out of the back, from the back, and creating opportunities from it. Yeah, and I think that one of my biggest issues during this half is that our centre-backs are touching the ball more than our midfield and our front line. And I think, you know, Ellen White hasn't got the ball enough. Nikita Paris hasn't got the ball enough, and as you see, you know, Tobin Heath has had a lot of running of the ball as well.
That's what we want to see more of. Kira Walsh, that's her ability. Get her on the ball because she's able to pick out passes like this. And this is where it's a chance, and this is where I'm sitting here. I'm like, if that's Beth England, the form she's in, she's putting that in the back of the net.
It's true. I think, yeah, as I was saying this to Alex before, if that's like a Beth England or a Vivian Miedema, that's a goal. You know, that natural instinct to put that in the back of the net, and you don't get many chances against the USA like that. And it's not, you know, I think that's a failed opportunity.
The difference is with USA, what they make you do, they make you panic, they make you rush, and that's where England just need to have the composure, breathe when you're on the ball, bring players in, because Ellen White's isolated, so sometimes when she does get the ball, you just need to wait for your teammates to arrive and get some passes in. I don't think we've had actually a string of passes yet.
No, and I think as well, it doesn't matter who's playing up front, because we're not getting them the ball. It's either we're not getting them the ball or they're not coming to get the ball, you know, it's a cat and mouse thing. But I just think, you know, we just need to get the ball to the front line, and then hopefully we can make things happen, because Nikita's such a threat going forward with her pace. You know, Ellen is a great finisher, but we just need to have a bit more calmness, I think. Yeah. We look a bit erratic at times. You know, there's like a pinball machine. The ball's going all over the place. Yeah, let's get back to the USA chances. And like you're saying, England very deep. How much is that inviting the USA to be able to have the space to create these sorts of chances?
Yeah, the thing is, you have to learn lessons. And what I'm seeing from this game is we're doing the same things we did in the World Cup. We're inviting our own pressure defensively. It's scaring me at times. We're being sloppy, allowing teams into the game. And this is where you can't give USA, the world champions, time and space and allow them to keep getting shots off or giving fouls away and inviting set plays, because USA will punish you.
And I expect in the second half for the USA to make a couple of substitutions, because Carly Lloyd doesn't usually play as the main number 9. If Lynn Williams comes on or Jess McDonald, they're frightening pace. Lynn Williams is one of the most fastest players I've ever played with. You know, she's fantastic. So I'm going to be looking for her to come on in the second half and make a difference. But you know, I think the USA have done a decent job so far. I still don't think they've given their complete all-round game, but I'm looking forward to the second half, and hopefully we can have some more quality.
Just that last example there with Carly Lloyd's shot. Carly Lloyd, one of the best players in the world, she's unmarked in our penalty box. Someone has to be marking her.
She just strolled into the box and just kind of had a connection with the ball.
Yeah, a few times. Rose Lavelle, her shot as well. So much time and space, like you're saying. And you have to put pressure on them. It takes a lot of hard work, doesn't it? Especially against this US side. But if you don't put the pressure on them, they will punish you eventually.
And that's why hopefully now Dawn Scott gets England to that level.
There's a lot rested on Dawn Scott's shoulder.
Yeah, I think Dawn's going to come on in the second half.
That's what I see with Dawn. With the USA, they are just relentless. The pressure, it's wave after wave. They don't stop. And that's what England need. Actually, I think in terms of our midfield, we need to make some changes, because we need composure in there. I'm looking at Jordan Nobbs, who's sitting on the bench, someone who gets the ball and looks forward. I think we're playing backwards too much, which is inviting USA onto us.
Yeah, there was also a penalty shout as well for Tobin Heath. I'm not sure we have an angle that gives a definitive shout, but I mean, what's your initial thoughts? You played with her, Leanne.
When I first saw it, I thought it was a penalty, and I've watched it 3 or 4 times now, and I'm not quite sure there's contact. I think Tobin's obviously is one of those ones, you know, Jamie Vardy does it a lot. If you're looking for it, but at the end of the day, if there's contact, then it's a penalty. But I'm not quite sure there is contact here. And if I'm honest, I think that Tobin could go on the outside with her pace there and just completely go past Alex Greenwood, because Tobin's frightening when she gets in that position.
So would that suggest that perhaps there was contact if she didn't go and use her pace? I mean, it's hard. If we can't tell, how it's difficult for officials to be able to tell them.
I'm saying that's where Tobin's clever in the box. I think she's actually going to Alex to look for contact there.
Yeah, but she's going like that. She's nudging the ball. When I think I would look for Tobin to just take the ball past and just hit it.
What do you think England need to do in this second half? Do you expect changes? Leanne said she expects changes from the US. Do you expect changes from this England side? Will we see Beth England?
Bring on Beth England. England for England. Besides Beth England, like I said, I think in midfield, I think we need a Jordan Nobbs one because her energy, but just someone to breathe on the ball and invite other players to come into the game. And I think we need to stop being sloppy at the back, or we will get punished in the second half.
Because it looks like we're surprised that we're playing out from the back. You know, the girls don't look like they're ready to receive the ball. They're receiving the ball way deeper than I would expect them to receive the ball, and I think it's causing us a big problem. But if we already plan to play up from the back, our centre-backs look like it's a shock to them that we're playing up from the back. And in the game, we saw Carly had a couple of times where she's kind of hesitating with the ball, and it almost cost us in the end.
Would you like to see them push further up, the defensive line, the whole defensive line push further up? It obviously leaves space in behind for that pace that the US side have, but is that what you would like to see in the second half?
Yeah, I think, you know, in 2015, we did route one football, didn't we? We just kind of hit the ball over the top and Jodie Taylor ran onto it. But sometimes you just got to do that because we don't want to invite the pressure on and then, you know, there's a sloppy mistake at the back and then they end up capitalising on that, the US team.
Yeah, well, a big second 45 to come, but there is plenty more sport coming your way here on the BBC over this weekend, and it includes England's second SheBelieves match against Japan. We're on BBC 2 from 10 to 6 on Sunday. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Raheem Sterling are just two of the names on a packed football focus this week. I'll be back with Final Score on Saturday afternoon, before Gary wraps up the day with Ian Wright and Danny Murphy. And if you want to get your boots on, now's your chance.
The FA Fives is the biggest five-a-side festival across the nation. From the park, from the street, from the community. Get together and play. It's your road to the Euros and everybody is welcome.
To register, visit bbc.co.uk/FA5s.
OK, right, let's get back to Orlando. Katie Gornall is out there. She's been joined pitchside by two familiar faces.
Yeah, that's right. I'm joined by one of football's top teams here. We've got the former Lioness Laura Bassett and her other half, Orlando Pride manager Mark Skinner. Guys, thanks for joining us. I just want to check, first of all, are we all supporting the same team? Mark?
I'm always supporting my players, my adopted American players, but I'm English, so I support my team. I'm lucky I win either way. That's how I use it. So, yeah.
Well, I think we're relieved to hear that. Laura, coming into this game, England weren't in great form. They were a little bit cagey at times, but so far so good. What have you made of their first half performance?
Yeah, to go in at half-time, you know, with a clean sheet is a massive boost for the team. I think you always know when you play against America, there's going to be waves and waves of attack, and I think we are defending well as a team and getting the first contacts, but then we can't seem to get up and out of our own half. So, but, you know, on an all-round performance from that first half, there are some positives, so I'm sure they can get in at half-time and sort those through and really come out. You know, it's cooled down a little bit now, just a little bit. So, you know, hopefully to come and really attack this USA team in the second half.
And who stood out for you? Who's impressed? Because there's a real mix of kind of experienced players and young players out there tonight, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. I think the triangle of Carly, Millie and Steph are robust. I think, you know, they've really been solid at the back. But then I think, you know, once Kira, Lauren Hemp and Keats do link up and Ellen, then we do look good going forward on the counter-attack.
Mark, I know this is the off-season for the USA players, but it doesn't really look like that out there. They look pretty sharp, don't they?
They never really have an off-season. The players are so dedicated to what they do, and it's been quite a long time with the national team, so they're always ready. And I know from our PCR experience with our American players that they stay ready for whenever it's called upon, and they really are truly professional. So
regardless, England are going to have a hard game wherever they play. USA, anybody plays them at any time, they're always ready.
They've got so much depth, they've been able to leave Megan Rapinoe on the bench. I mean, what do you expect from the US in the second half?
Do you know what? I think they're very good at suffocating you, and I think that if England want success, they have to go behind their fullbacks because they're so attacking. So I think with Nikita, with Lauren Hem, I think that's where England will get their chances on the counter-attack on the breakaway. But with the US, because of the likes of Tobin, they can just create something. It can be a set piece, it can be a moment of magic from Rose Lavelle, so they can do it all. But if they do bring people like Megan Rapinoe on, they can change the game again. So England have to be ready, robust, defend like they have done first half, and then they'll stand a chance to take a result. Absolutely, they're in this game 100%.
Yeah, they are still in this game. What would you like to see from England then in the second half?
I just think when we've got the ball into Kira, Jill, we've had good combinations and got the ball out wide, and especially turn the ball behind Crystal Dunn, behind Kelly O'Hara, because our pace is phenomenal up there, and we are very good on the counter-attack. So again, we need to keep turning those fullbacks.
And I just want to ask you about how your job's going, Mark, obviously. I know it is the off-season. You had a difficult season last season. It's got to be hard when you lose so many players to the World Cup. And what are your thoughts with the Olympics on the horizon as well?
I think you learn from the model last season, so having already experienced it, it's almost the same model. In an international tournament year, you have to prepare differently, so we've learned from that. We've recruited through the draft system, and we're looking to recruit as well, potentially from Europe. So, you know, we're looking to build a solid base and really show what we're about. We didn't do that last season, and we're going to learn and make sure we do that this season.
Have you got baby Sadie an Orlando Prize strip then for the new season?
Yeah, she had a baby grow last year, but we haven't got one this year. So, but she will be getting one, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. What did she make of that the first half?
Well, she didn't like the fireworks, so as soon as the fireworks went off, she cried and went back inside, so she didn't watch much of it. She's watching nursery rhymes, I'm afraid.
If you get some headphones then for later. Yeah. Thanks very much, guys. That's all from us here ahead of a huge 45 minutes for England at the Exploria Stadium.
It's a fine save by Telford. Nikita Paris creeping round the back, and Telford rescues her country. Ripped corner.
So unlucky.
Well, Ellen White goes for goal. Half-time, 0-0. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad result for England.
Always nice to see Laura Bassett on the telly. She'll actually be here for the game on Wednesday night. But Leanne, you played out in Orlando. What is it like as a football city?
Yeah, you know, I was in there in an inaugural season and I played there, and it was fantastic. You know, the weather's brilliant. It's like so humid, it's so hot.
Just like here.
Yeah, it's like England. That's why I don't live here.
No, like Laura was saying and Mark was saying as well, in behind fullbacks, is that the area that Phil Neville will need to target? And of course there are goals on that bench in Beth England and Chloe Kelly as well.
Yeah, as defenders, you don't like running back towards your own goal, especially when you've got players like Nikita Paris, Hemp as well, that are good at running in behind or 1v1, taking your full-backs on. So hopefully we will see more of that.
I do think as well we need someone to get on the ball, like Alex said, a Jordan Nobbs to maybe come into this game, because, you know, we can't really get the ball to Ellen at the moment, or Nikita, and we have looked dangerous when they have had the ball.
And we just saw there the two shots of the shot there of Julie Ertz and Lindsay Horan warming up together. They're such a formidable unit in the centre of that midfield. Is somebody like Jordan Nobbs, the energy that she has, is she somebody that could maybe find a way around them as opposed to trying to play through them, if you like?
Yeah, and I think they respect Jordan as well. I think they know what Jordan's capable of, and I think, you know, it's definitely different now. I think America fear playing against us, if I'm honest. I think before they never used to fear playing against us, but they know they have to earn the right to beat us now.
Yeah, I think the most important thing now coming back off this half-time is to ride that storm again, because America will come out, they'll be firing, and it will be that high tempo again. So I think England just need to find a way to settle through that, get on the ball, breathe, and find a way to build yourself into the game first of all.
Yeah, it doesn't look like England, that USA have made changes. England on their way out as well. There is Alex Greenwood, Phil Neville on his way out. I wonder what his team talk would have been and what it will do for this second half. Let's get back with your commentary team for it. Sue Smith alongside Jonathan Pearce.
Thank you very much. No changes, as you were saying, and we'll wait and see who comes on in the second half for both of these two countries. Interesting to hear Leanne talking about Lynn Williams. Well, she'll come on. She was the highest scoring American in the league in 2019, and she's a very, very good player. So we'll wait and see if she comes on, and we'll wait also, and I do expect to see young Kelly come on for England in the second period. Tobin Heath, blistering pace on the right-hand side. Kristen Press, blistering pace on the left-hand side, augmented by O'Hara and Dunn pouring forward from the full-back positions. I guess that's why England haven't been able to get out to, and that's why England can't play a high line when they've got pace like that. They can get in behind.
And that's the worry when they have so much pace, and Carly Lloyd does so well. She drags players out, so she'll drop into midfield, allowing them the pace, and like you say, the full-backs join at every possible opportunity.
Now here's Jill Scott looking for Nikita Paris, and Dunn went straight through with the challenge. So strong as Crystal Dunn. She'll be honoured on Sunday at the next game for reaching 100 caps. This is her 102nd, by the way. And it's going to be a throw to England, and Leah Williamson will take it. Steady first half. After, I thought she looked a little bit nervy in the first 5 minutes, but she really settled down strongly. The Arsenal player, Arsenal fan.
I think it's always difficult as well for a player if you've been playing central for a lot of the season, which he has done, whether it's in that holding midfield role or centre half. It's different positioning, isn't it, when you're playing as a fullback or a wide player? It's probably just getting used to that.
Captain England under 15, under 17 levels, so she could be a future captain as well. I know Phil Neville, as I was saying earlier, rates her very, very highly. She's played in every game this season. She's only 22. Steph Horton and Millie Bright comfortable playing together, although that hasn't actually happened enough in the last couple of years due to injuries. And out again. It's Alex Greenwood. Such a clever footballing team, though, the USA. Just to hear Mark saying that at half-time, the way they smother you, they'll also lull you into a false sense of security and suddenly break out, change the tempo, bang, they're in. The game is gone from you.
They just have triggers, don't they, when to go and when not to go, and when they do go, it's such pace and intensity.
It's a nice turn by Stanway. Here's Jill Scott. The USA are very concerned about her. Williamson, this is progressive from England. The crosser onto the back post, looking for Lauren Hemp to come in. She's not the tallest. It wasn't that bad a ball in. But it swung away and out of play. For a goal kick. Scott Rose there. With Horan in the air. They're certainly appreciative of England, the USA these days. And as I was saying earlier, that the general consensus of opinion is that England pushed them a lot harder than the Dutch did in the World Cup finals, even though the Netherlands went through to the final, of course. There's Horan.
It's the fact that they keep across the Women's Super League as well. They know the players, they know who's doing well.
Done. The US Soccer Federation described the England semi-final in Lyon as a match for the ages. Gosh, that's risky. That was risky. Here's Alex. The back heel there towards Carly Lloyd, and the shot deflected away of Millie Bright. They had more corners than England in the first half. They edged possession a great deal, actually. The official stats have them as having 11 efforts on the England goal. Didn't think it was that many. Certainly the busier goalkeeper has been Carly Telford. She's organising zonal defence now. Waits in the middle, and watchful Ellen White. Warren was free in there to rise in the air. Well, you could see that coming from a long way out. How England didn't see it, I don't understand at all, and it should have been 1-0 to the USA.
Yeah, that's exactly who they were aiming for. can see Jill Scott sort of passes her on. Pretty much a free header. I know Carly Telford's in and around there. There's players in and around, but no one's really getting up challenging her. So let off that.
There's 18 goals for her country, 7 this season. Scored against Canada in the final of the Olympic qualifying. Carly Lloyd will be looking for her 3rd Olympic gold medal. Williamson under a bit of pressure from Dunn, lobbed it forward. Sabram was there. Did you notice, by the way, as they came out for the second half, Carly Lloyd was looking around the stadium? I think she was looking for her bezies. I think she was looking for you and me. Her lunch pals. I know somewhere, Hope Solo will be watching this and listening, and we'll probably get a terse message tomorrow. Loads of Americans in Lyon, weren't there, for those final few days? Terrific atmosphere. It was a great decision to play both semis and a final in the same venue. Now this is bright purposeful. Lauren Hemp passed out. A little bit sloppy. Nikita Paris to check back on it. There's Williamson. Steady start to the second half by England there. Oh, Paris has got in behind here. Half a chance. It's deflected away off Sauerbrunn. As they were saying in the studio, Sue, when England get half chances against the USA, the world champions, they've got to take them.
They do, and what a ball this is from Leah Williamson. And Nikita Paris does so well. She just gets in behind Crystal Dunn. And I just feel she was caught in 2 minds. Do a shoot, do a cross, and in the end she just goes to pass it into that near post and straight at Sauerbrunn.
Corner kick. Alex Greenwood will take it. Who did it deflect? Here's Greenwood. Middle of the penalty area, goalkeeper punched it out. Wow, a little bit of hair pulling there by Georgia Stanway. She pulled my hair, says Tobin Heath.
There's not even anything to say about that. They were both giggling about it in the end. I think Georgia Stanway was initially looking to just pull her shirt, and obviously can't do that.
I once saw Ian Wright do that in a game at Highbury against Reggie Blinker, I think it was. He had long hair. It was funny that day. I don't think Reggie thought it was. Now, purposeful here from the USA. Press, lovely bend effort, 1-0. World champions ahead. Too much room, too much time, too much space. England pay the penalty, 1-0 to the USA, 7 minutes into the second half. Kristen Press.
I don't want to take anything away from the finish, because this is absolutely superb, and this is exactly, you get yourself into a position like that, so clinical. Win the ball in the middle of the park, and again it's Carly Lloyd just dropping in deep, sees Kristen Press, lovely first touch, just opens her body up, curls it into that far corner. But from a defensive perspective, England have to do better. Steph Houghton initially goes out to press Carly Lloyd, but then they don't come across. They give Kristen Press far too much time and space. That's easy for her, but what a finish that is.
She's having a terrific 2020 is Kristen Press. She was player of the tournament in the Olympic qualifying. She's now scored in 7 of her last 8 games. And the USA lead in this SheBelieves Cup opener for the World Cup holders and the holders of this particular competition. Dare I say it, the goal came slightly against the run of play.
England had come out very well in the second half.
For Ellen White, a decent header on, scratched out by O'Hara, and the clearance completed by Julie Ertz. 2016, the USA beat England with a goal by Crystal Dunn. The following year, Ellen White scored the winner very late on. Karen Bardsley own goal, won it for the USA in 2018. 2-2 it was last season. And White scored one of her 4 goals in SheBelieves history. She's the top scorer in the competition's history. Steph Houghton got the other one.
It's just intelligent movement from those two for the goal, though, isn't it? Carly Lloyd drops out of that position straight away. Kristen presses in there.
A little flip header on press. On again. Oh, lovely ball, Carly Lloyd, and that's what she does so supremely well. One of the greatest goal scorers the game has ever known, and she makes it 2-0 to the USA.
Just cannot give a player of her quality that much time and space. Again, you've got to close the initial ball down. It was too easy to find her. You can see it here as it comes through. Have to close down a little bit quicker. Jill Scott does her best, but you can't leave a play like that. Steph Houghton went out. No awareness. Both of them are together, Steph Houghton and Millie Bright. No awareness of that little running behind by Carly Lloyd, but what a finish that is. Lovely little dink ball through from Haran, and it's exactly what you said. That's what Carly Lloyd does, get herself into that position. She's not going to miss from there.
I said earlier on, will the Olympics be her swan song in Japan? Should the tournament take place, as we all, of course, hope it will? I don't know, she's ageless. She's 37, as I said earlier. She scored more goals in her 30s than she did before. She just keeps rattling in. That's 10 in 11 internationals in 2019-20. And as Mark was saying, they don't really have a close season. You know, they were together for those 5 weeks, building up to and including the Olympic qualifying, and throughout the autumn internationals as well. But here come England. Break out led by Stanway. Just delayed the pass perfectly for Nikita Paris to get in behind. Her touch was poor, the chance was gone. Smothered very well by Nissanaya, but it's a very good opportunity for England there.
It was. Like you say, it was just that touch that just took it away from her. Georgia Stanway does well, she draws. I thought she took too long. I thought she should have given it to Nikita Paris a little bit sooner. But she draws the defenders towards her, then plays the ball to Paris, and that first touch just allows the goalkeeper Naya to come out and smother the ball. So it's again another chance gone for England. Getting themselves into decent positions, but not quite finding that final pass or that final shot.
Football Writers Football of the Year of 2018. Couldn't bring England back into the game. They did come out for the second half on the front foot, but the US team capable of just dealing savage blows. 58 internationals in a row they've scored in. Last time they scored was failed to score was July 2017 against Australia. First goal, Christian Press, 53 minutes. Carly Lloyd with the second, 2 minutes later. It's 2-0 to the USA. For England, they tend to go on and score more when they're in this position. They've scored 2 or more in 25 of their last 28 when they've gone unbeaten. Here's Scott. Paris. Very open the game has been throughout. Definitely a chip into the box by Williamson, and White was offside. Not a bad substitute to bring on. Pino. Top scorer in the World Cup finals, Golden Boot, Golden Ball winner. FIFA Footballer of the Year, Ballon d'Or winner. She won virtually everything a footballer could win last season. In the women's game. Also Sports Illustrated Person of the Year. nuts. Have you been nominated, Sue, for the Sports Illustrated Person of the Year?
Haven't, no.
No. Tells me by that one. But we are nominated for an RTS award for the semi-final of the Women's World Cup. That's, I think, a Tuesday week, that's decided, so fingers crossed. Big swanky do. You going?
Not, no. You?
No. Probably a wise decision by the organisers, one would think. An hour played. What decision's up his sleeve? Does he bring Anthony England on? Does he bring young Kelly on now at 2-0 down with an hour play?
He does have options, and I suppose that's a real positive for Phil Neville now. He's got players that are challenging for the same positions, the likes of Beth England, the likes of Chloe Kelly, that are in fantastic form in the WSL. Also Jordan Nobbs adding a bit of energy in there in the middle of the park.
Steph Horton, the captain. Steinway. With the cross into the box, looking for our post. Overstruck. And here comes a change. And it is Kristen Press who goes off. And placing her from the bench will be the inimitable Megan Rapinoe. All smiles. Had a lovely goal, didn't she? Slack play by England, but she took it so well. She's a national icon, Megan Rapinoe. Forthright views, and strong in her support of all sorts of oppression. Very much a leader. Wonderful footballer. She could have won more, you know. She missed the World Cup of 2007 and the Olympics of 2008 with cruciate knee ligament problems. I think she missed the Olympics in 2016 injured as well. She's come through all that and be the player she is. Wonderful. Away by Millie Bright. He's strong at the back for England. The Chelsea defender. Now, O'Hara. Fenner definitely needs to change it. So they've gone fairly flat. Very sticky conditions in Orlando.
I think he has to change it in the midfield areas as well, where not picking up the second balls. Crosses are coming in, the defenders are maybe getting ahead to it, but then the US are then picking up that second ball and keeping on that pressure.
I spent a lot of time in Orlando in World Cup '94. And Ireland were based here, and conditions sultry, very difficult to play football in. Some of those afternoon kickoffs were intolerable, really, for the Irish and the Dutch. I seem to remember the Mexicans were in the same group. Might be wrong on that one. So certainly the Dutch were here. Great entertainment they were in a place called Church Street Station. If you will know that from your time in Orlando on holidays. Here's Lavelle with a lovely ball, attempted but too far ahead of Megan Rapinoe. An old railway station, that is, sir, in the middle of Orlando. Lots of hostelries there. There's Jordan Nobbs. Are you surprised that she wasn't in the starting three in midfield? Who would you have replaced, actually? Who would you have not had in there for her then?
See, that's a tough call. I'm surprised that she wasn't in there, because she would certainly be in my starting 11. I think England miss Jordan Nobbs when she's not there. I felt we missed her at the World Cup. It's great to have her back. It's great to have her now fully fit, because it does take time to come back from a long-term injury. She's built her way back fitness-wise and touches on the ball, and I think it's we just need her now at this moment in time. We'll see that energy that she provides in the middle of the park.
24 games for Arsenal this season, along with her 4 internationals. A couple of starts for England. The first since November 2018 because of that injury. She replaces Jill Scott. Straight into the action. Talk about leaders. She's a definite leader, isn't she?
That's another thing, straight away wanting to get a first touch on the ball, just buzzing around in there.
Paris. Very likeable is Jordan Nobbs, who was part of our commentary team in the World Cup last summer. No airs and graces. Very much part of the team and got on with it, and really good company. Brought up in football, of course. Her dad Keith was a fearsome centre-back in his day. I told the story once before in a commentary. Lost 6 teeth playing for Hartlepool against Darlington, did Big Keith. Did he go off? Carry on. That's good play. Lauren Hemp going up through the gears. 2 chasing her. Lavelle got back at her. Did she time the tackle well? The referee says yes, it's a corner kick. She had a good turn of pace there, did Rose Lavelle, to get back to the England flyer.
That's good from Lauren Hemp. Just driving at the defenders, making them have to make a decision.
She's only 19. Phil Neville was saying to me in the build-up to this that they've got such promise, these England youngsters, but they're not the finished product by a long way. And she's going to be around, what, for 10 years at major tournaments. Stanway's 21. Jill Scott's still playing major tournaments at 33. She's got a long career ahead of her at this level. In comes the corner. It's not a bad one at all. Seen it away by Becky Sabre. And if the US are to look at this tournament and say, well, will the veterans do well for us in Japan in the Olympics? Can they get another gold? Certainly think Sabre will, and Carly Lloyd. So, as if she'll score goals for her own day. Greenwood. A little push. Millie Bright, I think it was, on Julia Ertz.
It's better though, mixing the set piece up, just changing the angles slightly, and meant that Steph Horton was free at the far post, but that little push in the middle.
Once or twice in the game as the US prepared to make 2 more substitutes. Goodness me, these aren't bad substitutes to bring on either, especially Sam Lewis, who had a very good World Cup. They chunt her a little bit, the US players. They moan at opposition, they moan at referees, more than I think any other country does in the women's game. But is that a sign of how determined, how driven they are? I don't know, I'll ask you on that in a moment here, Sue, because here's Rapinoe and Heath. Deflected away wide. What do you think? Are they arrogant, or are they just really driven?
I think if they are arrogant, they can be, because of everything that they've won. I would say it's more of a confidence in their ability. They're just ruthless. Their mentality is just, we win every single game, and they believe that they're going to win every single game.
Mewis will come on for Lavelle, and wearing 13 for the USA is the player Jan Sanderson was talking about back in the studio, Lynn Williams. This is her 26th game for the USA. She did well in the Olympic qualifying. She scored in the final against Canada. She got 3 goals in that tournament. And she comes on for Tobin Heath. Centre forward who can play wide. second highest scorer in the Women's Soccer League in the USA, behind Sam Kerr. Samantha Mewis, that's the other substitution. Comes the near post and that's in there.
I like her. Going back to Lynn Williams, I think she's completely different to Carly Lloyd in the way that she plays. She's a natural finisher, but she's so aggressive when she presses the ball.
20 minutes to go. An angle on the face there of Lindsay Horan. She shot wide. Tony Duggan comes on. We've been talking about the younger England players. We've not really mentioned Tony. She comes on for Stanway. Only a second international of the season. She's missed the last 4 since the game in Norway in September. Had fitness problems, but she's back in the Atletico Madrid side. Second in the league in Spain, and they've got the Champions League quarter-final against Barcelona to come. And she was unfit going into the... She was never fit in the World Cup finals in the summer. I felt so sorry for her. She was so determined to do so well, and must have been heartbreaking. At the moment it's all the USA. And Lloyd, brilliant turn.
When she gets on the ball, she's just got one thing in her mind: can strike with her left foot, can strike with her right foot. Such quality, but just gets underneath that one a little bit.
Any player, she's played in 4 Olympic qualifying campaigns now. So Carly Lloyd. She's not missed a game in the SheBelieves Cup over the years, but tonight was her first goal in it. Here's Nikita Paris free. Doing something and quickly. Drops to Williamson.
I was wondering where Tony Duggan was actually going to go, if she was going to go out wide or she was going to play in that central position and just be like-for-like swap for Georgia Stanway, and that's actually where she has gone. So I know Nikita Paris played central, didn't she, when England played USA in the semi-final. Tony's very capable in there.
Really right, a little bit too tight on Carly Lloyd. A little spell at Manchester City. The cup there with them. To her best, Millie Bright, would you say, or near her best?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's been excellent again in the Women's Super League. She's been solid and exactly how we expect Millie Bright to be. Really puts her body on the line.
It's a good run by Mewis. Rapinoe, low and fizzing, but from an offside position. She's saying she needed the ball out earlier.
She'd made that run, just the extra touch. She wanted it. You can see she's waiting.
Screamer was a little bit more aware there. I think for one of the goals, she stepped back in for the Lloyd goal, isn't it? Here's Carly Lloyd again. Duran. Wide to Rapinoe. Orange waiting for on the edge of the penalty area, but keeping possession particularly well. Williamson. It's a very poor ball. Lewis. Handball there.
attempt. It's away from her body.
I'm sure the whole handball law will be reviewed in the summer. Talking about it perhaps in time for the European Championships, I think that would be wrong. Putting in pre-season friendlies. Otherwise it's going to be chaos. Now what's going to happen inside that penalty area? Far more chaos by England. Quarter of an hour to go, 2-0 down. And they're still in the game just about. USA could finish them off here. Disgruntled faces back there for England. Rapinoe to the left-hand side of it. To the right, it's Rapinoe. Reflective.
Yeah, I was going to say, you expect so much more from a player of her quality. She knows it herself, you can see in her face.
It's been prepared to be a bit different. I remember when the World Cup 2011, when she's son born in the USA, didn't she? She scored against Colombia. I can't remember the situation, but I remember people being startled that she sung. There's Lloyd. There is by England. Followed up by Julia. It's arriving in the box and wide it goes.
That was the pressing, that was meaning from Williams. She isn't central, she is on the right-hand side, but such a willing runner, wins the ball high up the field and really puts the US on the front foot.
This is his 8th game in charge for Ratko Andonovski. 100% record so far. Lots of enthusiasm in this stadium. Orlando City are based here in the men's game. Orlando Pride in the women's league. Jimmy Nobbs, tidy ball around the corner. Paris, Crystal Dunn. Nagging away there. Williamson comfortable enough. It's a foul by Mewis. So forceful and strong is Samantha Mewis from Massachusetts. Comes Ellen White for England, and on comes Beth England. You're a big fan, Sue.
Yeah, I really am. She's been excellent this season, and you just think give her an opportunity, she'll take it.
Here's a chance for the USA offside. What a finish that is, by the way. Julius. Great to see the smile, isn't it? Wonderful finish.
That's a great finish. I wasn't sure she was offside, but you can see, ooh, she is, isn't she? She's a step ahead of Steph Horton. But what a finish that is.
What a ball by Carly Lloyd.
Just great awareness from her.
And it would have been a cracking way to celebrate 100 games for your country. Ooh, a goalkeeper had to react smartly there. Listen there. England, only a 6th international for her country. Ahead of Jodie Taylor in the pecking order now, it would seem, for England, although will insist the door isn't shut. For example, he's desperate for Fran Kirby to get everything fit and well and get back into the England reckoning. There's what a difference she can make. There's Jordan Nobbs. She's made a difference since coming on.
She really has. Just a willing runner. She's seen that Nikita Paris had come out of that space out wide. She was the one that was running into the channel. Won a team a corner.
England will take it. The goal here could change a lot. Just over 10 minutes to go. England 2 behind. 2 goals in 2 minutes there, undoing against the world champions. Bad delivery in. That's knocked a goalkeeper out, and it's cleared away by Abby Dalkamper. They've got such blistering pace on the break. And Williams off the bench now, and up there in support was Mewis. Quick pressure. USA pressing as they have been throughout the game there to stop him getting away. Walsh, Paris, beyond done, no mean feat that. Jordan Holtz with the crossing. I think they pulled it down.
Good play again on this right-hand side. Nikita Paris, it's a great battle between her and Crystal Dunn. Picks out Jordan Hobbs, who then picks out Beth England. Good first touch, but maybe not second touch.
She's in great goal scoring form. We've talked about that all night on the programme. Do you think one of the main reasons, again, beyond Ellen's experience in this competition and the fact that she's unnerved the USA many times in the past, is the fact that they are different players, and that Ellen White would pressure the USA, not let them get out. Mind you, Beth England's just doing that there and then. Do you think that's one of the reasons maybe why Ellen started?
I just think because she's tried and tested, isn't she, at this level. We know what she can do. I think Beth England's still trying to do that. Beth will press.
And you were talking about Ellen's combination with Georgia Stanway. A lot of that happened off the ball, didn't it, in the first half?
I thought they were excellent how they did that. You don't always see that. You see what they do on the ball, but the way they were just trying to stop Julia Ertz from getting on the ball, knowing that she's so vital, but then one of them was trying to press the centre half at the same time. It's clearly been worked on in training.
With the throw. Mewis with the cross in. There by Horton. Good pressure on Lloyd. And Rapinoe with a shot that curled wide. Great start this for the USA, whose next game in this competition comes against Spain. Winners against Japan earlier on tonight. So it's a game you can see on the red button on the iPlayer. England's next game is against Japan. And that's on Sunday at 5:50 on BBC Two. And the USA again. Rapinoe. England's game against Spain Wednesday, 9 o'clock on 4. Again, Rapinoe twisting and turning. Just eased away at the back by Steph Horton. Dunn slips away from Paris. She hasn't often been in that sort of offensive position because Nikita Paris, by and large, has done a good job negating her. It means that Nikita Paris probably hasn't been the offensive player she'd want to be, but Crystal Dunn's the best attacking left back in the world, I should think.
Yeah, one of them, because when you look at both Nikita Paris and Hemp on the other side, they've had to get back, they've had to defend, because America's fullbacks like to get forward at every opportunity. But then you also want them to be your outlet. I just don't think England have switched the play probably enough times when they've done it, when they've got USA on this left-hand side into Kira Walsh and out onto the right-hand side. That's when they've seen joy. Maybe just not enough times as that happened.
It's not something in common with you, Crystal Dunn, you know. She's the best dancer and singer in the US team, like you are in our BBC commentary team, or can you not remember that night? Probably best forgotten.
She said it definitely wasn't me if it was singing and dancing.
Is Lloyd. She had to slip it in to Rapinoe's run into the penalty area. Clever run by Megan Rapinoe, and a very cute pass again by Carly Lloyd. She's rolled back the ears tonight. And she's looking for this at the far post. Why? And England watching her there, you can just see maybe the advancing as she couldn't get off the ground. It was too high for her anyway, but think she's been super tonight, do you?
Yeah, she really has. Just how intelligent she is with her movement. Makes space for other players and also for herself, and then just the quality when she gets on the ball. Because at times I think both teams have lacked a little bit of quality in the final third, but she hasn't.
Free kick for England. Conceded by Williams. A little bit of a limp for Steph Horton. Just to mention once again, you'll see it coming up on the website for the Derby Rimmer MND Foundation. In a couple of, it might be up there now, you should just check it. Karen Carney and Stephen Warnock running for them in the London Marathon to raise money for the foundation for Steph's husband. Really great cause, and well done those two. And in the commentary box here, put your hand up, please run the London Marathon. Just me then. See you passing me down the mile, Miss Smith. No. 35,000 other people did, many years in a row. Looped up looking for Nikita Paris, and Crystal Dunn is there. Lewis. Again, the strength in the squad if you can bring Samantha Lewis into the side. They are world champions for a reason. Williams out to stretch. So we've got 4 minutes to go. Let's talk positives for England, Sue.
I think first half, the fact that they went in at half-time 0-0. Thought they defended set pieces very well in that first half, created a couple of opportunities, but it's just about being clinical, isn't it, when you're playing against a side like USA with so much quality. You have to take your chances, and you can't give them the time and space that England give them, particularly for the goals. You make a mistake and they punish you.
Hence, near post flick on, they couldn't convert in the middle in the first half, and then Nikita Paris is one-on-one, saved by the keeper in the second. Yeah, made chances. I think Phil Neville down there at the bottom of the picture will say, look, we were undone in 2 minutes.
Yeah. You're missing Lucy Bronze, missing Beth Mead, Frank Kirby. You know, they're three important players.
But his selection will be questioned. He knows that, and he knows the pressure of being England coach. There's Williamson. I wonder how much his selection tonight was to win the second game. Because Japan aren't the team we thought they would be coming here. I think the coaches have realised that as well. I think he was determined to beat the Japanese and beat the Spanish and go home with 6 points. Is that a reasonable argument, or do you think he should have put out his a stronger team tonight? What do you think, too?
I think he's put out the team that he thought was going to win this game, or at least challenge for this game. But of course, you look at the second two games and they are must-wins.
Comes a substitution for England, and it is going to be Chloe Kelly. A wonderful moment for her this will be. England debut. Debut for Nikita Paris, yes it is. And also Carly Lloyd going off for the USA. And on comes McDonald, who we saw in the World Cup finals. Jess McDonald, as Leanne was saying, I think at half-time she was talking about her great pace. Nikita Paris does depart. On comes Chloe Kelly, 18, Everton youngster, 9 goals this season for them. Part of the under-20 side that finished third in the Junior World Cup. Quite a few of them are coming through from that side now. Second game for England, isn't it? She had a little role against Austria the other year. clears. Walsh tries to poke it through. That's with the block. And pick it up again. Jordan Knox to Williamson. 30 seconds to play. It's a tad of stoppage time. Duggan tried to force it through. Whistledown was trying to shield it out of play and then got just a touch on it, so she had to play it, turn and get it away. Real strength there from Millie Bright, but the USA could break off that. Here's Ertz. McDonald. Williams is in the middle. Ertz will settle for that. Powerful player is Chess McDonald. She's in her 30s now. She's only played 45 minutes of competitive football until the Olympic qualifiers last month, where she scored 2 goals. She's been around the squad for 4 years. Took time out of the game to have a son, Jeremiah, I think his name is. Oh, that's brilliant. More into the penalty area, across the far stick, and it's again defended well for England.
Clever play here, isn't it? Just knock it one way and go the other. And then you get your head up and find a pass. Millie Bright does so well. Gets up and challenges.
And all the stars around O'Hara goes under the radar a little bit. 130 internationals, 2 World Cups, Olympic gold. In every SheBelieves Cup tournament there is, there has been. All right. Lindsay Hart. McDonald. Williams is in the middle. Albina making a run. Bright got it away only as far as Sam Mewis. Negatives for you for England, Sue, in these closing stages now?
I think just what I said before, the clinical finishing, that final ball into the box, and defensively, you can't give a side like USA so much time and space when they get into good positions. I think they'll learn from this.
Kelly, good challenge on it. And Sabram.
Particularly those young players or inexperienced players. Valuable game time against a top quality side.
643 minutes without a goal conceded now, the USA. That'll be uppermost in their minds. Ruthlessly professional. Williamson. And the USA starts with a victory against England, a repeat of their World Cup semi-final success. And he has had a magnificent start to his career as the USA coach. Vlatko Andonovski makes it 8 wins from 8. And disappointment for Phil Neville in the opening game of the English defence of the SheBelieves Cup, undone with 2 goals in 2 minutes. Christian Press and Carly Lloyd. Positives, yes, but England's miserable run of games without enough victories goes on. Beaten here in the opener by the United States of America, 2-0.
So the USA team celebrating their first win in this year's SheBelieves Cup. You kind of shook your head, Leanne, when Jonathan Beer said positives to take for England. I'm not sure you're too happy with the performance-wise and the result, really.
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to find the words, you know, but I feel like we've taken some massive steps forward before, and then I think we've gone backwards, if I'm honest. You know, I think from 2015, I think we can talk about, you know, positives from today, but from minute one, I felt like, you know, Alex made a good point at half-time, and she said we have to make sure we don't concede in the first 15 minutes, and we conceded 2 goals, and it looked like it could have been 4 or 5, you know, and I'm not being hypercritical, but I just think we have good enough players that are good footballers, and, you know, tonight, and I just don't think Phil was getting the best out of them. You know, I think when Phil first got the job, I think a lot of people criticised him, but, you know, him being ex-Manchester United, and I love Man United, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But at this moment in time, he just doesn't seem to be getting the best out of the team individually. And, you know, we just look scrappy, and there's players on that team that I know can do far better with the ball than they are. Going back to basics like clearing the ball, you know, our clearances were abysmal. So, you know, I'm trying to find the right words to not sound too, you know, negative, but it just wasn't good enough. And we are good enough to compete with America.
You should not need to stop doing this to me. This is hurting my heart. And I have to sit here and be the negative Nelly once again.
No, Leanne's with you tonight.
Yeah, we're not negative people, but I'm trying to...
I think what we've seen from the World Cup, and then the excuse was that the hangover was there. And then so I'm trying to find positives from today's game. And I know Phil's saying, you know, people were talking about England players in England in the same bracket as USA. No. We're not in the same bracket. We are below. We're not USA's level. And we have a huge, 16 months to make sure we raise the level, because we're hosting a home Euros and we need to go into those Euros firing and better than what we're showing at the moment. So Phil needs to find a way. Yes, you're trying to bring in new players, but before that, you need to find a winning mentality, because that's what the Americans do. They are ruthless. They keep going. They dominate. Carly Lloyd, everyone thought she was finished, that was the end of her career after the World Cup. She absolutely dominated us today.
And she's 37 years old.
She run the show today.
And that's still young.
Yes, it is.
Now, what is it that you're seeing over this spell, year, 2 years, whatever, that makes you feel like England haven't been able to raise their level to the standards of the likes of the USA? Or like other teams have done, the Dutch national team, European champions, other nations have raised the level. Why have England not?
If I'm honest, if I look at today, I think it was wrong team selection. And I think that's been done previously when we look at the World Cup. Jordan Nobbs, she came into the game and straight away you had a player that wanted to get on the ball. Her energy just... And we missed that in the first half. If you look at defensively, again, today, I think we were weak. Leanne mentioned our clearances. You know, I've been in practices with the USA players, and they pride themselves on making sure that ball is going anywhere but just landing in front of you. It's just basic things like that. If we're seriously talking about us wanting to win medals, win gold medals, we need to up our level in all departments. With those small things become big things.
OK, let's take a look.
I need to start smiling.
You're not going to be smiling because we're about to show the goals again, the opening one. Kristen Press, Leanne, I mean, as a forward player, the finish was sublime, but I know you're both frustrated with the space that the USA were given.
I think Steph's clearance it originally wasn't meant for Georgia Stanway, but I mean, we got to possess the ball against these top oppositions. I mean, that's an unbelievable finish from Kristen Press. You know, look at the technique on that, but it's an unforced error from us. You know, Georgia Stanway's given away the ball in the middle of the pitch, and you cannot do that against a team as prolific as the US Women's National Team, because they will hurt you.
Yeah, that's the difference. I think just in there is a prime example of Georgia Stanway. She had time to get the ball and face forward, but instead she's a sloppy ball back, and against the world champions, that's the difference at this level where you get punished.
And they were punished just a couple of minutes later by Carly Lloyd. You've already mentioned her goal, 123 in her US women's career. I mean, she's formidable.
Astonishing. It really is. Carly Lloyd is quality. But before that, let's break this goal down, because the time there that she's on the edge of our area, Haran, and no one's pressing her down. You've got our 2 centre-backs pushing high and our 2 full-backs keeping her on. That's communication and working together as a defensive line. And Carly Lloyd, the ball into her and just finishing shows how still exceptional she is as a player.
But if you look at a player like Lindsay Horan, the way she played that ball, I don't know if we have that in the England team, somebody that can just get the ball. Jordan did fantastic when she came on, as Alex said, but we just need somebody with that creativity that can just get the ball and find a Beth England or an Ellen White, and I just don't think we have that at this moment in time. I think we have a lot of very similar players, but when I look at that team, I think, where is the leadership coming from? You know, sometimes I feel sorry for Steph because at this moment in time, she's always kind of like, you know, scrapping for the ball and those kind of things. And Steph is a magnificent player of the ball, but we always see her and Millie Bright running back towards their own goal, and that's not a good sign.
We know the US team spend a lot of time together. They know each other very well. They've just gone through an Olympic qualifying campaign. Yes, they're in an off-season, but in terms of a national team unit and a squad of players, they've spent a lot of time together recently. Is that the kind of thing, you know, are we a little harsh on England? They haven't spent that time together over these last 3 or 4 months. Nope. OK, I was going for a positive.
No, I
was trying to give you a positive there, but no.
No, I think it is a valid point because we were saying before, like, you know, I think the girls haven't met up for 3 months. That's not making an excuse. But, you know, these girls in America, they live in and out of each other's pockets. You know, they're literally in camp all the time. And it's almost prioritised more than the NWSL in America, whereas here, you know, the league is fantastic, but we have to make sure that players in form and the league is transitioning into our national team because I think it's suffering at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what? The difference is because we've both played in the USA, we know their mentality. Lucy as well. I look at Lucy. Lucy could slot into this American team because she has the mentality, the athleticism, the ability on
Step
the ball.
up when it matters.
Our league here is professional. There's no excuse for players to be unfit, not have the composure on the ball. The difference is with mentality. If you think at what you're doing as club level is enough, it isn't. Because when you go up and play national team level, it's a whole nother level. It's a step up. So you need to be doing more. When the USA players are not in the NWSL or playing for the US, they're still out there. They're still fit. They're still training.
Carly
they
Lloyd,
still want to be the best.
On like the most random fields. You follow her on social media, you'll see literally, and she's one of the most greatest ever players for the national team. And she goes out and does more, and you can see it tonight. 37 years old, running down, playing number 9, scoring goals. You know, and that's what we need, players that want to stand up and be counted, and I'm just not quite sure we have that on our team.
Yeah, she probably went for a run as well today before the game.
Yeah.
I know she does that on a match day. Let's take a look at some of England's chances, though, and the majority of them fell to Nikita Parris. She is always so dangerous. Couldn't quite put any of them away, but that is where, sort of highlighted where the USA might be weak, in behind the fullbacks.
And this is, let's flip it, OK. Keira Walsh, this is her ability on the ball to bring in players like Nikita Parris. And this is the frustration because we have good players. We just need to be able to put them in positions to let them play, let them thrive. I think Keats is in that position where she's rushing it. She don't know whether she should shoot or try and bring somebody in. This is Nikita Parris is breaking her neck to like make sure she can get into position. Personally, I think Georgia Stanway needs to play the ball a bit earlier because by the time she plays it, Nikita Parris's angle, there's nothing more she can do. But she is our bright spark.
Yeah, well, let's hear from Nikita Parris. She's been speaking to Katie Gornell.
You know, we had chances. My chance, Beth's chance. You know, against a top team like this, you gotta put them away.
You're now one of the more senior players in what's a very young group here. What do you think the youngsters would have learned from this experience tonight?
The fine lines between football games. You know, you give top teams like the US a chance and they're going to punish you. You know, defensively in the first half we were great. We kept them out. You know, you're going to have times when you're on the rack, especially against the best teams. We kept them out in the first half, but you know, when they're punishing you like that, they're going to get in somehow. I thought Carly had the top game, you know. In the first half, she kept us in it. It's about resting and recovering because at the end of the day, you're talking about retaining our trophy, and the important thing to understand is it's the first game. Anything can happen in the next 2 games with USA and with us. The main important thing that we rest, recover, and make sure we beat the Japanese and the Spanish.
Yeah, so she's looking ahead to the rest of the tournament, but in terms of this game, it's just not a great start, and it will affect confidence, won't it? And also, we have to remember the form that England have been on coming into this.
You heard me.
But the pressure was on. There was pressure on Phil Neville.
Yeah.
Over the spell that they've had since then, and then going into this one, it sort of felt like after the 3 months of not being together that had kind of gone away.
Yeah.
But after a performance and a result like this, does that come back?
It doesn't help, and the pressure is on because you continue to be on this slump with England not playing well. people judge you on results. So, yes, Phil got the job and he's implementing things and he's changing things, but ultimately now, as the months go on, you need to win. You need to be showing up now against USA, because we're talking about England and all the investment into it. If we're pushing to be the best team in the world, we need to start winning games again and find a way.
And be honest in the analysis as well. You know, I think sometimes when you're on the field, and it's easy to sit here and, you know, critique and stuff like that, and it's much harder out on the field. But there's things that some of the players are saying, you know, how we were good defensively in the first half. We wasn't good defensively in the first half. It was 0-0, but it wasn't good enough. So I think we just have to be a little bit more critical. We can't be really negative because there's still 2 more games to play. And I think they're winnable if we play our game. But we just need people that are willing to step up. I mean, they made a point there that Nikita's one of the most experienced players on the team, and she's still really young. Yeah. So my question is, who are the leaders on that team? Lucy Bronze, one of the best players in the world, but she's not there. Who is going to step up? And as we saw when Jordan Nobbs came on tonight, you know, she's fearless, she wants the ball. Even if she doesn't get the ball, she moves somewhere. Small, basic things, and we were able to possess the ball.
You said you didn't think Phil was getting the best out of the players. Did you see a game plan, a structure tonight?
Honestly, not really, because, you know, it's pretty obvious to me, and I'm sure Alex, that Jordan had to start in this game. We're playing with 3 players in the midfield that are pretty similar, apart from Kira Walsh. Kira got on the ball a couple of times and was effective. Obviously, we saw the ball to Nikita. But it's just, you know, overall, I just don't think the players look comfortable. Like I said, a lot of the time you see Millie, Bright and Steph running with their back towards the goal, slide tackling and stuff like that. Steph's the kind of player that usually gets the ball down and can hit a ball on a dime, on a diagonal, but we don't see that anymore. And Steph is good enough to do that. And I'm not saying it's all Steph's fault. I'm just saying that we don't seem to do the things that the players are good at anymore.
Phil did make changes and very nearly led to a goal, and it was substitute to substitute. I mean, there's all when substitutes come on the pitch and make a difference, we always talk about team selection.
Now Alex is smiling.
But these 2 players, Jordan Nobbs and Beth England, should they have started?
Yeah, Beth England should have been starting in today's game because she is in form, she has the confidence, and when you have limited chances against the best, you need your in-form striker. And it was hard on Ellen. She was isolated at times. I can't even remember Ellen touching the ball. But that's the difference with England and the form she's been showing in the WSL. They're the moments that give the rest of the team confidence that if we get the ball to our in-form striker, she's going to make something happen.
Yeah, do you remember when I said to you, that when we were playing, you know, it was like the number 9 used to have to always chase down the centre-backs and just wear themselves into the ground until the 60th minute, and then they'd get subbed off. And I thought we'd progressed from that. But tonight, anybody could have kind of been up front. But as you're right, Beth England came on, Jordan played at the ball, and that was the one opportunity that was a pretty good opportunity.
We've got analysis that I don't think I've ever had to use before. A hair pull. This is a new one on me.
That's why you should cut your hair short. No one pulls mine.
I mean,
it's not happened to me in a game, but I can say it's happened to me in training before. But do you know,
lovely to get away with that.
Yeah, it was. I mean. She didn't look like she looked a little bit surprised herself, Georgia Stanley, that she had pulled her hair.
That's my hair. But do you know what? Let's just talk about this. Because to me, this was the start of seeing Georgia Stanway be tired. This is a moment where she's trying to stop that play there because she's tired. And I think there was 3 incidences afterwards where she gave away fouls because she's fatigued.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's such a tough shift against the US team. But again, I mean, Dawn Scott has been mentioned a few times tonight, but what do you think she'll be thinking after seeing the 2 performances tonight?
Yeah, you know, I'm sure it'd be tough for Dawn because, you know, she's been with them, the US Women's National Team, and won and stuff like that. But I think she knew the job that was at hand before she took it, and she's going to accept the challenge. And, you know, it's one game. So we don't want to get too carried away. It's her first game, one of the first games she's been in charge.
Dawn will have protein, recovery shake, ice bath, skins on, we need to go again.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's Japan. Next up,
Japan.
Sunday.
Yeah, which is another tough game. Defensively, I think we're going to need to be tighter and more compact, especially against the tricky triangles that Japan play in.
Yeah, they have been beaten as well, Japan. They'll be coming back looking for their first win.
Yeah, I mean, they made a couple of defensive errors, as we saw tonight, so hopefully we can capitalise on that. But, you know, I'm definitely looking for a better performance from England than tonight, and I think we just need to kind of, you know, they need to get together, regroup and figure out what we can do to be better, because we can't keep saying, you know, it was good enough, there are positives. You know, it's not being negative, but it's like the truth is there wasn't many positives from the game.
Yeah. No, I thought my lion top was going to support the Lionesses. Look what happened.
Because it wasn't the fairy tale that England were looking for in Orlando. We'll see you on Sunday.
That's a fine save by Telford. Nikita Paris creeping round the back, and Telford rescues her country. Ripped corner.
So unlucky.
She was looking for it.
Definitely.
Press, lovely bent effort, 1-0. World champions ahead. Carly Lloyd, and that's what she does. The USA starts with a victory against England, a repeat of their World Cup semi-final success.